I haven't made a video like this in a while where it's more of the podcast type setup where I just am talking, kind of just doing a random rant instead of just making video on a specific topic. And I actually am doing this kind of randomly because I was just watching a video and I looked in the comments and this, irked me in a way that really makes me want to punch this guy in the face. But, I refrained from being violent towards him. And so I just need to talk about this. So basically it's a video about someone confronting Ray Comfort, King Crocoduck, and it's a great video. It's pretty long, which is fine, but it's a long video, and it just basically destroys all of Ray Comfort's ideas and claims about evolution. Basically how he's talking about evolution when he doesn't understand it. Now, I personally don't understand evolution to the full extent. I understand the basics of it because I've been through high school biology, but I understand enough to know that it's a fact, and I understand enough to know that it works, and I understand enough to not to try to refute it. But basically, someone posted in the comments of this video is garbage, utter despicable trash. Evolution is not observable, testable, or falsifiable. It is not science. In fact, it is useless. Please reply. And basically, that's not necessarily the worst part. Yeah, it is bad that he denies evolution. Evolution is a scientific fact. Evolution is science. Basically, everything he said in that comment is utterly and testably wrong. But basically, the poster, King Crocoduck, responds with, okay, watch tier 2. It's part of the video. You'd have to watch it to understand. And then explain why what I presented was not observable, testable, or falsifiable. And then the guy asks another question. Why is it that you subscribe to the phylogeny tree so concretely? This is not Ray's basis for classification, but yours. Is there proof that all of the objects are categorized correctly in the first place? Which is a weird question. Once again, my understanding of evolution, I don't really understand the question as deeply as this guy. The guy who posted the video has a very in-depth understanding of evolution, or at least far more than me. He's not a biologist, an evolutionary biologist, but he has a very good understanding of it. So he posts what's like a 46-line response to this guy that clearly... I don't really want to take the time to read it in this video because that would take longer than necessary. But basically, he describes how this is science, how evolution is science, and how evolution is testable, falsifiable, and observable. Basically, refuting everything the guy said in his original comment. And the guy just ignores it. He just doesn't. He demands evidence. He demands reasoning for why evolution is science, why evolution is testable, why evolution is falsifiable. And then once presented with it, he just ignores it. And this is what these creationists love to do. And this is the thing that irks me the most. It's not necessarily the fact that they deny evolution, even though, yeah, they are denying reality. They're in their own capability to deny whatever they want. If they want to deny reality, let them. That's their choice. I think it's okay to present them with as much information as possible to try to convince them otherwise, but there's not really much harm in that. The problem lies when people like Ray Comfort, and there's people defending Ray Comfort, who make these claims that evolution isn't true. Not only is he denying reality, he's actually attacking reality. He's trying to hold us back. And when they do so, they demand these things. Like Ray Comfort is notorious for demanding, like an animal in between. I think like most creationists describe it as the in between, which is an animal that is between like a fish and a land animal. They demand these so-called missing links. And that's one of their main demands. That's Ray Comfort's main demand. He loves saying, "Oh well, where are these fossils that show this evolution, this in between?" And when he demands it, he feels, "Oh, I got them. There's no evidence that they can provide." And then this guy in the comments demands demands how it's observable, testable, falsifiable, and how it's science. All these demands are met when Ray Comfort is confronted with these missing links, these in-between species, he just says, oh, well, those aren't in-between species. Here's what I meant by in-between species. He's falling for shifting the goalposts, the fallacy of shifting the goalposts, which is very academically dishonest, or intellectually dishonest, sorry. And it's sickening. And then this guy in the comments does the same thing. He demands reasoning for why evolution is science, why evolution is falsifiable, testable, and observable. Evolution is all of those. When a guy who I'm pretty sure King Crocodile has a major in some scientific field, I'm not sure which, but he is a very, very intelligent guy who makes these videos. When he posts an in-depth response showing how evolution is testable, falsifiable, and observable, the guy just ignores it. And this is what creationists are notorious for. If you're going to attack something, attack it correctly. Demand something, and then once that demand is met, back off. You see, when atheists like me demand evidence, we're not shifting the goalposts, because if someone were to provide us with scientific, falsifiable, testable evidence, we would accept it. That would be a huge breakthrough, because we're open-minded to these ideas. It's more that creationists see evolution as this just horrible thing that goes against everything they believe in. It goes against their worldview. Therefore, it must be evil. It is a conspiracy theory, and there's no way we can accept it. So what they do is they go in with a confirmation bias saying evolution is not true. Let's find out why. And that's it. They won't accept things that counter their worldview based on their biblical account, or their holy book's biblical account, which just is beyond me. Why can't people just open their mind to these? There are a lot of Christians now, a lot of religious people nowadays, not even specifically Christians, just a lot of religious people are accepting evolution, which is great. Awesome. Evolution is a scientific fact. If you wish to deny that, you're denying reality. I've said that many times before, but if you deny reality, that's your problem, but you can't argue with the facts. If you want to argue with the facts, for example, okay. I need to state this. Ray Comfort. I know you'll never watch this video because I'm not big enough, nor do you really care to look at people who criticize you. You just think you're right and want to continue on with this charade where you're intellectually dishonest in ways to try to disprove evolution, even though evolution is a scientific fact, yada, yada, yada. But Ray Comfort, if you are so set in your ways that evolution is wrong, please publish a paper on how that is the case, because the scientific community would love that, assuming that your arguments were sound. Now, every single argument you've ever brought forward has been torn apart by people who aren't even evolutionary biologists, and then evolutionary biologists would get a hold on this paper that you wrote and just tear it to shreds. But I would love to see you try. You see, because that's the step that is never taken. All these creation scientists who aren't even, well, they're really scientists, but they're not doing real science, make all these bold assertions that, astronomy doesn't have anything that contradicts God. Geology doesn't have anything that contradicts God. Biology doesn't have anything that contradicts God. Physics doesn't have anything that contradicts God. Well, guess what? If that's the case, please write a paper on how that is so. The scientific community would love to see that. I would love to see that too. I'm not even a part of the scientific community. Write a scientific paper on that issue. You make these bold claims, back it up. Write a paper on this issue instead of just writing on these crappy Answers in Genesis and creation science websites which have no value whatsoever. Allow your paper to be peer-reviewed by actual scientists who understand the situation at hand. There is no conspiracy theory, or there's no conspiracy going on in the scientific community. They want to know the answer. If the answer is God, if the answer is creation, then so be it. Provide evidence as such, or at the very least, even though it's kind of dishonest, you're only attacking, you're not defending your beliefs, you only attack. But if you attack evolution, write a paper on it. You seem so set, so hell-bent in your ways that evolution is just so wrong, and you can't be persuaded otherwise. write a paper about it. You seem so confident in what you're saying, in everything you do, Ray Comfort. Please write a paper on it, or get one of your fellow reality deniers to write it for you. I don't care. I just want to see this paper written and see your ideas on paper get taken behind the woodshed. It's a term my baseball coach taught me. I want to see your ideas get taken behind the woodshed by these scientists in these fields that actually understand what they're talking about. Because you don't even understand evolution and you're trying to disprove it. Well, let these evolutionary biologists take a look at this so-called evidence that you have that evolution is wrong. Now, biologists have already done this and torn these arguments apart, but when you have a centralized idea like this, it would be something that could be posted online and people could see the personal reviews by the other, or the personal reviews by these other scientists tearing apart this paper. You would get to see 0 citations. I don't even know. I don't think it'd get published. It probably wouldn't even get published, but I could be wrong on that. I don't understand the scientific process all that well. But that's just something I wanted to see, and that's a rant I wanted to do. Let me know your guys' thoughts below on Ray Comfort, evolution, and goalpost shifting.